You know, today started so positively surrounding the Atlanta Falcons. They got some really good news around a really young player, and then probably the worst news that I've heard all season from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. And trust me when I say this, I'm going to break it down for you. Falcons fans, welcome in to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and on today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about my guy, Xavier Watts from the University of Notre Dame, who I believe is going to be a top 5 safety at some point in his career, maybe even top 3. But did you know he's also top 5 in Pro Bowl voting? And then this, ESPN's Raheem update is all I'm going to say about that right now. And if you love what we do, if you love nonstop Atlanta Falcons content, do me a favor and smash that thumbs up icon today. Let's start with the good news because I want to be a more positive guy surrounding our great players. Xavier Watts is an absolute dog. How do I know? Everybody else is noticing it as well as me. He is now top 5 in Pro Bowl voting. This is now a very interesting Pro Bowl race because I do believe that he could be number 1 at some point if he continues his amazing play. Here's what AtlantaFalcons.com said about the unbelievable performances he's had so far this year. Watts is an impact player because he takes the ball away. You want to talk about making an impact. Turnovers make an impact. Watts' knock for creating turnovers is more than just talk, as he's currently leading not only the Falcons in interceptions, but also all rookie safeties this season. Oh, by the way, it goes on further than that. He also leads his class in passes defended. Now, not to toot my own horn, but toot, toot. I told everybody. I literally screamed from the mountaintops. I said, Xavier Watts is a first-round talent. If you do not pick this guy in the first round, you better pick him in the second round. And nobody wanted to do that. And then the Falcons got smart, and they said, you know what? We'll take a guy with first-round talent in the third round. That's called value. Hello. And so far this year, Xavier has been nothing shy of just exceptional. I would like to see him play a little bit more at the line of scrimmage because he did it a lot at Notre Dame. Get a little bit of TFLs in there. You even send him on a blitz from time to time. 66 tackles, though, 7 PBUs, 3 INTs, with a coverage grade of 70.2, among the very top of all safeties, not just rookies, safeties in the NFL. And if you were wondering who those Pro Bowl voters were for free safety in the NFL, here are the top 5. Kevin Byard for the Chicago Bears, notably, is having one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a safety. Kalen Bullock is also playing really well. Kirby Joseph, Evan Williams from the Packers, but not far behind him is Xavier Watts. Funny enough, Xavier Watts could be better than all of those guys at some point. I still can't believe he fell to round 3. I had said, and I'm going to say it again, I'm going to say it 85 more times to you. Oh, God, I cannot breathe right now. I'm getting a lot of the burp hiccups. Xavier Watts, when I saw him play at the University of Notre Dame, I knew he was going to be a top 3 to top 5 safety at some point in his career. There's just way too much talent. He was easily the best defensive player on the University of Notre Dame, and it wasn't even that close. So to get him in the third round to one of my favorite teams, hell, my favorite team right now in the NFL, I was so excited. Now, brief time out there. Maybe not right now because they're pissing me off, but you get my point. So if you had to show some love to my guy Xavier Watts, do it by spamming those Watts down in the comment section. Let him know, let me know, let the world know that you support our guy Xavier and his amazing season and career yet to come. Now the bad news. It's from ESPN, Jeremy Fowler, who delivered what I like to call the worst nightmare for the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. But before I do, I got to tell you about our friends over at Factor. As the weather has officially now changed, fall turning into winter, busier routines and back to school, it can be shorter time to get those cooking meals in. So that's why I personally love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. You get more variety and more meals, so choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, and no extra cost. You can also savor global flavors, and for the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. For more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier lifestyle. Feel the difference no matter your routine. Eat smart at factormeals.com/FalconsChat50 off and use code FalconsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code FalconsChat50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. All right, so Fowler gave the Raheem update. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. This literally made my smile from Xavier Watts' news turn into a frown. Because Jeremy Fowler believes that there is an opportunity that the Atlanta Falcons keep Raheem Morris. Another man, pause, take two. Another name that is coming up in conversations, this is from Jeremy Fowler, by the way, is Atlanta's head coach Raheem Morris, whose Falcons slid to 4-8 after a loss to the Jets. Would Falcons owner Arthur Blank be compelled to make a change after 2 disappointing seasons? What I have been told is that Blank respects Morris a lot, so I don't expect a rash decision one way or the other. Any sort of in-season move would be a mild surprise from my view. While there's at least some smoke around this job, this feels far from finalized. And Atlanta has enough talent to turn things around over the final 5 weeks. If Morris gets a third year, and that's the kicker right there. If he gets a third year, I would expect more staff or coordinator changes. Special teams have been a liability, and the offense has regressed despite playmakers on that side of the ball. So what I took from that was Raheem might keep his job. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to keep his job, but it also doesn't mean that he's a guaranteed firing. And if you remember a couple of weeks ago, CBS Sports came out and said, hey, there's a lot of smoke around Raheem Morris's job. And now he's saying, well, that might not be exactly true. Now, ESPN, I should at least mention to you guys as a reminder, these NFL insiders don't just make shit up. They get told information from the locker rooms that they cover, the organizations that they cover. Someone in that Falcons upstairs is saying that Raheem might keep his job. That's the crazy thing to me. So that means on some level, Arthur Blank and Terry Fontenot and Rich McKay all view this as a coordinator problem, not a Raheem problem. The article goes on, and this is what pissed me off more than anything. Fowler says that the expectations would be for a staff or coordinator change after the special teams proved to be a liability, while the offense has regressed. Dude, who hired the staff? How am I going in circles with this? Every single episode, I make a new statement that is the exact same roundabout answer that you guys keep getting. Fire Raheem Morris. So I decided I'm going to make a pros and cons list. Let's weigh what Raheem Morris has done as the Dirty Birds head coach. He hired Jeff Ulbrich. That's a good thing. He picked a great 2025 draft class alongside Terry Fontenot. That's a good thing. He helped create a better defense. He does get credit for that. He hired Jeff Ulbrich. He has a hand in the defense. He's a defensive head coach. He gets credit for that. But then there's the cons, and they're way more than the pros. A mismanagement of staff, Ike Hilliard. He hired Zac Robinson. That in and of itself is a joke. Clock management malpractice. How many times do we say, take a timeout, Raheem? Or what are you doing, Raheem? He's terrible at the microphone. He gives that doofus coach speak. He's got a lack of offensive development for Michael Penix Jr. and company. And he's got, more importantly, a losing record. Remember, he said yesterday at his press conference, winning is my job. Well, you're doing a shitty job of that, Raheem. The cons outweigh the pros. And if the cons outweigh the pros, Relationship 101 tells you, dump them immediately. Why are we still continuing to do this? Why are we continuing to make Raheem's job look like it's safe? Why on earth is he still employed? And why is it taking so long for this staff this ownership group to realize what we all know. Raheem and Zac Robinson and Marquise Williams and this entire coaching staff is not good enough to lead the talent that's already on the roster. Period. That's it. Before I take on off, what's the likelihood that Raheem Morris coaches in Atlanta in 2026? Scale it 1 to 5. I would have told you like 5 being like he's staying, 1 meaning he's going to be gone. If it was just 2 days ago, I would have told you it was a 1. Now I'm thinking it might be a 2 or a 3. I don't know. I really don't know. We're going to have to see as the season goes along. That's going to do it for us, Falcons fans. A reminder to hit that subscribe button, like today's video. As always, rise up and be cool.